Hello, everyone. I am, in fact, Pythonicus, and this is, I am proud and excited to say, the GDQ debut of Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops. I am not, however, the only one presenting here today. I have also got on my virtual couch my best buddy, my best Peace Walker co-op partner, miniomegaking. Mini, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
You know what? I'm so glad to hear that. So, we have a couple of words about the category and the game itself, but before we get into that, let's just go ahead and save this name, save our profile here. So we're going to be doing New Game Tsuchinoko, and the highest difficulty we have access to on New Game is normal difficulty, so that's what we're going to be selecting, and as soon as I hit this button, it'll be starting on timer, so let's get this rolling here in 3, 2, 1, and go. So yes, let's talk first about Tsuchinoko itself. So Tsuchinoko is going to be our benchmark high rank playthrough. It's going to be more or less like you would expect, like a big boss or a foxhound rank. So no kills, no alerts, no continues. More on that in a few. But exclusive to this game is a couple of other stats: comrades recruited and comrades killed. We also hope to see those numbers be really low, because securing comrades is really slow, and killing comrades, well, that's just no good at all. But, Minnie, would you like to talk about the literally week ago thing that has happened here?
Yeah, so we thought that the game tracked continues towards the Tsuchinoko rank, but in a practice marathon run about a week ago, we had an accidental continue on a boss fight, and then finished the run, and we still had Tsuchinoko. So we don't really know what was going on with that.
Yeah, it could be the case that something kind of strange happened. That being said, for every ping I have against the rank, including continues, I will actually be donating to the charity. So, obviously, I hope to show you all a good time and get the big boss, more or less. But if it doesn't happen, it's still going to be going towards charity. So,
there was the bump technique that is very important to this run. We call it the bump roll. When you bump into guards, they kind of get like stunned for a second and then can't catch you. And then if you roll while they're still stunned, they'll just get knocked down, and you can get far away from them, far enough that they won't be able to detect you. We use that in a lot of areas.
Yeah, that's pretty much our bread and butter technique for most of the run, just for getting dudes out of our way. You know, I have this feeling in the back of my head that we might have just reached a milestone. Sporadic, can you confirm?
I can indeed confirm that we have passed $100,000 raised for MSF, Doctors Without Borders.
That is excellent. Literally, like 12 hours in, we're already past 100K. Y'all are doing great. You're all true heroes out there. But if you'd like to, you can actually go ahead and read a couple of donations as well.
I would love to. I have a donation here from Precious Warrior for $250. It says, "Yo, Python, welcome to the big stage, brother. Hopefully, we can get the homies from MGSR together for the next one. But until then, good luck, brother."
Thank you, Roy.
Roy always cheering us on. Great guy.
Yeah, he's one of our MGSR staff tech crew for our homegrown sort of stuff. So always good to hear from him. So right there, you actually saw we were actually in a briefing menu. So this game was originally released for the PSP, and as such, it has a lot of concessions made for a portable platform, while also a couple of downsides. The PSP, as you may be well aware, has only one analog stick, and what is happening? I'm actually going to take this a bit slower than usual. There we go. So PSP only has one analog stick, and we're using that for movement. Our camera motion is all being done on the D-pad. So throughout the entire run, I'm actually doing the standard claw grip and I'm playing on a PS TV, which is basically, it's a PS Vita in a plastic box with a HDMI out.
Yep.
So I'm using a DualShock 4 and using the claw to control this beast of a game. And in fact, coming up is actually our first really tricky bit for a Tsuchinoko run. I'm actually going to let Minnie go ahead and explain this one.
Yeah, so we need to recruit any soldier. The game doesn't care which soldier, we just need to recruit one. And we're going to go for the fastest one that also allows us to grab a pack of TNT that we'll need for some later missions. So it just so happens that there's a guard here, right next to some TNT. Problem is that he's facing where we're going to be approaching from. I need to do a very tricky throw on him from around this corner. So you can't even see him right there. Yeah, we got it. Nice. Yeah, that is very difficult because you have to make sure that he doesn't completely spot you before you grab him, because otherwise you will get an alert even though you'll still slam him.
Yeah, that is for anyone who's actually doing Tsuchinoko attempts, that is pretty much your first stopping point. And there's a number of those in this run. With practice, it becomes a little easier, but it's still a bit tricky from time to time because the PSP game on a PS TV, it has the unfortunate issues of input drops from time to time.
And optimally, you have to do that without adjusting the camera. So you are doing a blind grab.
Yes. But that is our first soldier. Our first soldier, no matter who we grab, his name will be Jonathan, and he'll be coming with a specific career called Rescuer. Now, that really doesn't matter in terms of the run, but it does bring up the fact that the soldiers you recruit do have specific specialties. The most important ones we can't actually get. Well, I mean, we could, but it'd be slow. But we don't actually get them in the new game run, and those would be athletes, which they run faster. They just generally make everything faster in general. So this game also introduced the base building and recruitment mechanics that would later pop up in both Peace Walker and MGS5. It's a little less refined than that, but it does come with this neat benefit of being camouflaged if you're using an enemy soldier, while the map you're on has similarly dressed enemy soldiers. So anyone wearing the same dress as you doesn't really mind what you're doing as long as you don't do anything suspicious, firing a weapon, crawling, or something really, really suspicious, climbing a ladder.
Oh, yes, it's forbidden to climb ladders over here. You're not allowed. They have them there, but you can't climb them for some reason.
Authorized personnel only, and we are not authorized.
So this mission is going to include a variation on the bump grab or the bump roll that we kind of call just the 180 bump grab. So we're going to run into a guard and then bump into him and then turn around while he's still stunned and grab him from behind. And then we're going to drag him over to a specific spot and knock him out. And we're going to recruit that soldier in a very unique way, and that will be our last in-game recruit. So despite the fact that this game, it focuses very heavily casually on recruiting these soldiers, we're only doing it twice.
Yeah. That also plays into why we're doing Tsuchinoko instead of, say, a big boss rank. And that is because in order to get anything above Tsuchinoko, you would actually have to recruit over 100 guys or gals. There are women in this game that you can recruit.
You have to play on extreme, and you have to, in that run, recruit 100 soldiers, which is a little ridiculous.
Correct.
So normally this quick capture of the soldier, normally you have to call a codec, but for the first time that you do it, the game will do it automatically. You don't actually have to call the number to do it.
Yep. So you might have seen the wonderful hitbox on Snake's roll, and you really have to be careful because, especially on this map, if you smash any of those windows by rolling anywhere in the next district over, it'll be an instant alert. And then again, we're going for Tsuchinoko, which means we don't really want those at all.
Yeah, the roll hitbox on Snake is very large. It is also the same in MGS3. This game runs on a light version of the MGS3 engine. It's not the exact same, but it has a lot of similar quirks to it that we'll be explaining when they show up.
Indeed. So this mission it's mainly just like general movement and story that we're skipping entirely past. So if you got donations, we have time for probably a decent handful of them.
Mm-hmm.
Snake! I can't really yell, but you know.
What's his status?
We're currently
Oh, heck. Okay. I think people did not necessarily hear that donation, so I'm just going to read it one more time. And it was from Kakusu Sora for $25. Said, huh, what's that? A donation from Sora. Hey, Python, I'm still up late with the boys of MGSR on Discord. I may be messing up my sleep, but I did not want to miss your run, and I did not want to miss donating to this amazing event, PDQ. Keep it up, guys. Can I get a snake? And we got the snake, actually. We got the snake. And then I have a donation here from an actual snake for $25. Excited for all the runs and always glad to donate to a good cause. Cheers, y'all.
You know, I'm kind of
Snakes
curious
could
how a
use
snake...
computers.
Yeah, exactly. How they use computers, how they manage to obtain currency. Either way, thank you for the donation. Much appreciated.
I mean, I would say that the answer is skills.
Oh, no. All right, so here we actually have to manage our soldiers. We actually got our second guy out of the brig. He has decided to come join us, and that is completely RNG. And what is also completely RNG is when you get your spy reports for mission critical things. Now, the game expects you, of course, to be recruiting constantly. They expect you to be pretty much taking your time and dragging literally everyone out of a map. We're not doing that. We've got 2 soldiers to do what we please with, pretty much. So that's going to introduce quite a bit of actual RNG into the run, where we're going to be waiting for spy reports, and if they don't get it to us in a timely manner, that's just... It's not unavoidable time loss, but it's not really anything we can really do about it in the speedrun sense. So
Yeah, you can see right there the window you have to actually bump into the guard before an alert happens is quite large.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of leniency with that. And also, when the captured soldiers join the team is random as well.
This is HQ.
It can affect some routing, early game routing.
Yep. For that first spy report, it is actually guaranteed on the first passage of time. For future ones, that's not going to be the case.
Yeah.
So the way spy reports work is that you have a chance, depending on how many soldiers you send out to spy on a place, to get a report. And, of course, the more you have, the better that chance is. And we're going to be using the spies a fair amount through the run, most notably through this next section. We're going to have to divert...
What was that?
divert soldiers off of this rail bridge here. And to do that, we need to find targets of opportunity to go blow up with some TNT. And to find those targets, we need the spies to go find them for us. And it can potentially be a bit of a pain.
Yeah, so while you're waiting for a spy report, you can pass by time by the wait command on the main menu. You can do that 3 times before you have to load into a mission. And we want to get the spy reports at least within those 3 waits that we have. If we have to load into a mission, we load in, board out immediately, and then try again. But thankfully, the first one was relatively quick, so...
Yeah,
good.
that was 2 waits. Like, obviously, we want them as soon as possible, so 1 wait would be optimal. But as long as we're not entering into a mission and then exiting out, it's totally fine by me. So this game is normally tracked using in-game time, which we're still trying to piece together what exactly counts and what doesn't. Loading times are one of those indeterminate factors, but for real-time purposes, those load times are a real killer. Not that they'll kill a run, it's just they're long.
Yeah. And you might have noticed that we exploded that right in front of the truck and took no damage. When you clear a mission in this game, Snake becomes invulnerable, and he can't be detected by guards. So the explosion went off in Snake's face, he took no damage, and the guard that was nearby just didn't care.
Oh, this is actually perfect luck. This is exactly what I want to see. So we got the supply depot and the Soviet patrol base. And the menus correspond. They match perfectly. So wherever they are on the map screen is exactly where they'll be in relation to each other on the spy screen. So we want the first two and then have them meet up in the research lab for something later on because we'll need them there. And it'll be easier to move them out of there as well. So that's really good. We're getting some actually really good RNG, which I'm very happy about. My practice runs didn't come close to this kind of RNG. So here we're going to grab this guy, toss this guy, equip the TNT, run into the door frame, place it down, explode it. And hey, everyone's fine.
Yeah, that guy doesn't care. Everything's fine,
so
nothing happened.
If I was a fraction of a second slower, the animation for getting up actually gives the soldiers iframes. If I was anywhere, if I was even remotely slower than I was, putting that TNT down and exploding it, that soldier would have gone flying and died, and that would have dinged against our Tsuchinoka rank, of course.
Yeah.
So that's some fairly strict timing, but it's not too bad once you get used to it. Again, the only issue is if you get the rare frame drops from the PSTV. And now, I have my guys in the same place, and the luck is actually worse, somehow.
Oh no.
So this is what we were talking about. We have 3 wait commands, and then we have to enter and exit a mission to refresh that and advance time some more. So while I'm dealing with the spy reports and dealing with this last diversionary operation, Sporadic, you got anything for us? Now is a good time.
I have so many wonderful donations here for you, including this one from Otakon for $25. It says, "Love can bloom even in a speedrun battlefield. Good luck to all the runners. You're pretty good."
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have time for more?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we have time.
All right, I have one here from Sam Leonhardt for $25. It says, "Snake, it's Miller. While you're out on the mission, please try and grab some beef. We ran out here at Mother Base, and I promised the guys I'd make some burgers for the holiday. You'd be saving the day, boss."
I will definitely keep a lookout.
We'll see what we can do.
That's interesting. Okay, we're good. So, the actual strategy is for me to actually roll into that hallway, but Snake kind of bounced off the wall, so it all worked out. No alerts were fine. So
Yeah,
now
and
that
the
we've taken
MGS3 oh, go on.
out... Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just going to mention a quirk of the MGS3 engine where if you roll at a, you can roll at different angles, but the walls are all mostly 90 degrees, and if you roll like that, you'll just kind of cling to the wall and your direction will automatically adjust.
Yeah.
Which is what happened there.
All right, so now that we've dealt with all 3 of the diversionary ops, by the way, if you are playing this game casually, there are actually 4 you can do, and it'll remove even more people from this bridge, but you only need to do 3 as required. But now we can actually cross this bridge, and to do that, we have handy access to Snake's wonderful ESP, and we can just take a quick pot shot at that guy's shield, because we clearly knew he was there. I mean, how wouldn't we know, honestly?
Exactly.
And then it's a pretty simple matter to bump roll the last guy out of the way and get right into the mission marker.
And the soldier with the shield is so distracted by having a shield shot at that he doesn't hear the footsteps of the guy running past him.
So we're actually going to do a little bit of menuing here, and I'm going to switch it over to nighttime because that does actually have an effect on the soldiers. They see not much less, but they see slightly shorter range than they would in daytime. So we're going to take advantage of that here because if not, this movement becomes a little bit stricter, and I'm trying to play it a little bit safer. So we want to climb this ladder here, And there's actually a couple of different ways of tackling the harbor, but we're going to use this in this route as a bit of a shopping trip. We want that M63 on the roof. And there's also going to be something on the top of the ship that is going to be quite near and dear to our hearts. If I could line that up. Okay, we're good. Now, there's a faster method for getting headshots, but in this case, I do actually want to kind of wait so that these soldiers can path along, and means I don't have to go stalking any of them in order to quiet myself down.
Yeah, so on top of the boat here, we're going to get one of the most important items in this run. Actually saves a lot of time, and a couple strats are basically require this item.
Yeah.
And that is the cardboard box. So very similar to again, this engine is kind of like MGS3 Lite, and in the MGS3 engine, when you go up an incline while in the box, Snake actually moves faster than running up. They didn't add an animation for like going uphill while in the box, so Snake will move at a lot faster speed than if you walk up it. And we're going to use that for a couple sections in the run just to save a little bit of time, and also to use the box as a further distraction to our soldiers.
Indeed. So the rest of this mission is just going across the bottom of this ship and getting into a couple of calls that we're going to be skipping through. So we have time for another probably 2 or 3 donations.
Mm-hmm.
I have all kinds of donations here. One from Danger Zone, who sent in $25, said, simply must donate during a Metal Gear run. Love to see the rep. Also can't pass up a chance of those Snake and Otakon plushies. Let's make a good week of it, everyone. And those plushies are flippin' adorable. If you want to take a look at them, head on over to gamesdonequick.com and click on prizes, and you can see them. Oh, they have those little ketchup bottles too. Okay, can you explain the ketchup bottles to me? Because all I can think is they're gonna go hang out with Sans Undertale, so you gotta explain the ketchup to me.
All right, yeah, we can do that for you. So in Metal Gear Solid 1, after you fight Sniper Wolf for the first time, you actually get captured, and there's this whole torture sequence. Anyone who's played the game knows. It's a bunch of mashing. But anyway, one of the 4 different ways you can actually get out of the jail cell is to actually get Otacon to come rescue you. And what he does is he gives you a bottle of ketchup, and you can use that bottle of ketchup to actually pretend to play dead. And that's really it. Actually, I would like to swap this to nighttime.
Amazing. I mean, so amazing. Thank you so much. I haven't ever played any of these games, and now I really want to see it.
The speedrun from GS1, by the way, top notch. Highly recommend. A lot of good runners for it. So, really quickly, I do want to bring it back to Portable Ops here for a sec. So, this mission has a couple of different ways. This is the newest, and it is also the most enjoyable for me personally, because we get to see the box at full power. So we're going to bump through that first guy, equip the box, bump through the second guy, re-equip the box. They're both very confused. We're going to run up the ramp all the way, because we're going to set up some cycles for this guy up here. We're going to box up one more time, head through this door, go directly towards this corner. There are 4 guards, 4 of them, that we have just completely juked out using nothing but the box. So if you were ever doubting the power of the cardboard box, I just want you to keep a look on what just happened there. Because that is the
very
power.
Powerful.
That is the power. And we're actually going to have to do more menuing here. Got to remove that M63, and then we're going to head into the warhead storage. Because again, we don't have any weapons. We don't have a technical unit that is staffed to actually make things for us. So we need to pick everything up as we go. And in this map, there's a very, very important weapon that we'll be using to fulfill Tsuchinoko requirements for bosses, actually.
Yes. I'm getting the very powerful Mosin Nagant. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
I believe
I'm not
so.
100% sure.
Yeah. So we're going
Anyone
to
knows, let me know.
to the... Yeah, please do. We're going to hang to the right side of that ramp, because that's going to set us up to not get noticed heading out of that door, which is very important. Because that cutscene, the guards are still moving and we are not, so... And we're going to roll underneath this suspicious-looking thing. I don't know why, but, it feels like the right thing to do. And then we're going to head to the back of this, and here's our Mosin Nagant. And we're going to circle back and actually roll and crawl underneath this weird thing again. Very carefully. And we're going to climb this ladder. Now, if we were... Oh, so close. Okay,
almost.
So if that guard down at the bottom doesn't notice you, you know you're on a really good cycle for this. It doesn't really matter ultimately because we're just going to roll through this door. And again, while these cutscenes are playing, the guards are moving, you are not, so you do have to be kind of careful. That's interesting. I'm going to hope that this works.
This should...
I gotta move like quickly. Okay, we're good. We're great. Everything's fine.
Okay, all right. There's a guy
normally-
over there that could have seen us.
Yeah. Normally you want to roll further down to the right side of that ramp or that railing, but sometimes the game is a little weird. You know, PSP. It's fine. We're actually coming up on our first boss. His name is Python. Promise you, no relation. Promise. But he may not be there now quite yet. But I promise you, as soon as we're done with him, he's going to be all pins and needles. I did not prepare Mitty for that at all. So, yeah, Python here. He has, for lack of a better term, he's got a liquid nitrogen suit because of... Oh, that's bad. That's fine. I'll take that smack. So he had an accident happen and has to cool himself down with liquid nitrogen. And if we get hit with that, we're going to be having our equipment frozen, which is no good. So we're going to try and avoid that.
How about you?
And he will hopefully take 4 shots if I can aim. Where are you going? Okay, you're coming backwards. So 4 shots, and that's...
Oh, no.
That's unfortunate, but to be honest, I deserve that. So, fun fact, actually, now that we actually have time to explain it, also, is that if he starts firing at you after you've hit him, which I don't know if he's actually going to manage to do at any point here, but you can actually look down and shift Snake's hitbox downward to avoid damage. Anyway.
Yeah, in this game, for some reason, if guards are spaced at a certain distance, they can't be super close. They need to be a little bit farther back. And you look straight down at the floor, the bullets will just phase right through. You won't take any damage. I don't know why that happens.
All right, our spies are in the correct place. We just have to wait for a report from them. And of course, they're going to be weird about it. So go ahead for more donations. Very hype indeed. Oh, yep, there you go.
Oh, sorry, I have to. Nintendog E sent in $25 and said, wow, much SGDQ, 100K first day. Very hype. Y'all heard the hype. Just didn't hear me. All right. So Metal Glen Solid also sent in $10 and said, glad to see this game here and getting some love. All the homies wishing you luck on this run, Python. May the spies be ever in your favor. Incentive to Runner's Choice. What is Runner's Choice?
My Runner's Choice actually is going to upgrading the gimmick run. I've seen... Oh, that's interesting. But yeah, upgrading the gimmick run because I'm sure that's going to be a great time. So,
very nice.
What happened here doesn't normally happen. I think I rolled a little bit too late, which is fine. We're just going to keep rolling with it. And
you rolled a second time up the incline when you're supposed to put the box on after the first roll. That was all it was.
This becomes very tricky with this guy running around. Anyway, here's our target. We have to interrogate him. Normally what would happen is... you know, we don't have an alert, and he's just kind of standing off in the corner. So, no big deal. We still got him in a mostly timely manner. That guy can sprint. He'll actually just go if you're under alert during that.
And also, when you grabbed him, he acted like he had a gun in his hand, even though he didn't.
So, okay. We're gonna calm ourselves down here. Except we can't really, because now we're coming up on our second boss. The mid-game of this is incredibly loaded with bosses, and our second one here, he's not as difficult as Python is to do quickly, but there are some nuances. But before we get to him, I want to talk a little bit more about the bump roll. Now, you might be thinking it's pretty simple stuff. You know, you just bump into a guy and you roll through him. But we're also actually monitoring where we send them flying by very carefully making them look in a direction. So in that case, I wanted them to look a bit further out so that I could send him back into that corner there. We're carefully just gonna go around here and toward there, and now we're into the boss fight.
Very nice. This is Null. So Null is the perfect soldier, as you're about to see.
He is absolutely perfect, absolutely no flaws whatsoever. So I have in my hands an RPG launcher. You might be a little confused as to why that is, and that's totally understandable. Normally, you'd expect me to try and take this non-lethally, but the truth is, this RPG is loaded with sleep gas rounds. That's what we're going with. Yeah, that's what we're going with. But the real answer is that Null actually doesn't die during this, so anything we do to him is perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's not count as a kill.
There is a faster method, but I find this one infinitely more entertaining for myself. So that's why we do that. So now Snake's been captured. We have to bring Jonathan back out in order to go find him. And in order to do that, we're going to first investigate the place where we lost him, which it's going to look mostly the same at the start, but then we're going to start diverging off into another path because there's another guy here that we're going to have to interrogate for information. And he is nowhere near where we just were. So Jonathan doesn't have the box. During that first mission on this map, we actually rolled up the ramps to set up cycles. In this case, it would have been faster to have the box, but the menuing is not worth it, so we just kind of roll up the ramp anyway, which is slightly faster than just walking up it. So we're going to drop down here, go down this hallway a bit, and here's our fella. This is the guy we need to talk to.
Answer me.
We're just talking to him.
Yeah. He's slightly more reasonable than the guy in the suit from the airport. He's not actively like screaming in terror.
He mentioned that Snake is over in a guest house. We don't know where that guest house is, so we need to go find it. And this is where an accidental time save discovery originates from me. What we used to do was we would place spies here and then wait until they said that there might be a map to where that guest house is. I was doing practice with the new route and I forgot to do that and walked in and there was nobody here. Turns out the map is still there though, so you can just go in and grab it.
Yep.
And no one cares. If you do the spy report and get told the map is there, you'll get different guard layouts that you'll actually have to like work around. So yay.
Yeah. For the portable, for the PSP specifically, for the PSP Metal Gear Solid games, there's a lot of things to remember, and occasionally we forget to do those things, and sometimes it just ends up being faster that way anyway. It's both a gift and a curse.
Yes.
So now we're at the guest house, and normally, casually, if this is like your first time playing, you have no clue where they're holding Snake. So you kind of have to go around and just kind of search meticulously throughout this entire big map. And I'm telling you, this map is deceptively big. It's got 2 or 3 indoor areas, each with a couple of floors each. We don't have to deal with any of that. We know exactly where he is. We're going to go in a straight direction there and pick him up. And while we are skipping some cutscenes and before our next boss fight, Sporadic, if you would go ahead and take it away for a couple of donations, that would be wonderful.
I would be happy to. I have a $100 donation here from Dolphin Chucks, who says, Otakon, I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm playing Portable Ops, and the PSP volume keeps alerting the guards.
That is lovely. Thank you. Keep
Do
going
we have
for one more.
All right, we had a donation, a $15 donation here from Derek, who says, Metal Gear is one of my favorite franchises of all time, so no better time to donate for my first GDQ. Thank you so much, Derek, for that donation.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, honestly. You're all doing some great work raising money for Doctors Without Borders. Fantastic group of people doing some real good work out there. Certainly no affiliation with Militaires Sans Frontières, which probably for the best, honestly. So we're going to take out that guy with a headshot and then distract the guard up top with a shot to the rafters ahead of him. And that allows us to just cross right underneath him without too much bother. And this is actually going to lead us into our third boss fight. And this one, it may surprise you, but we have to fight Metal Gear.
So early.
That was beautiful.
I've had a little bit of practice. I play a lot of these games, and I do so occasionally quickly. So the old strat for doing Rasha here quickly was to actually run up underneath and set a few bundles of TNT underneath the legs there to knock it into the second phase of the fight. However, like I said, laziness and forgetfulness are often our friends in the portable Metal Gear side of things. So I did what I used to do when I was a kid playing this game, and I did the lazy thing of just firing directly underneath it with the RPG, which turns out faster and easier. Win-win. So we have to knock out all 4 of those legs, which I think I just did.
Yeah, I think they're all down.
And the next time she lands, she'll fall forward. Excellent. And now there's a quick kill. I'll let Minnie explain it while I try and get it.
Yeah, so we're gonna, it's gonna open up these little like compartments on the right and left side that'll fire missiles out at us. And we're gonna try and shoot rockets like at very specific areas to have the splash damage hit as much of the side as we can to do a ton of damage to it. If you miss some of the little like launch areas of it, it can get kind of annoying to find which ones you didn't hit, because the visual indicator for if one was hit is very hard to notice.
But not being particularly kind.
Yeah. One on the, I think one more on the right. I think. No.
Yeah,
There we go.
All right, so that was Metal Gear Rasha. Plot twist, though, that was not actually the Metal Gear we were looking for. That was actually the test unit for the Metal Gear we are looking for. So yeah, the whoopsies. And also, Jonathan may or may not have just died.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Thankfully, we have already got his replacement for his spy duties already set up with Python, since we defeated him non-lethally. Not to be so cold in the wake of a loss of a dear friend, but, you know, we have to continue the mission. It's life and death importance, you see. So, first we have to go send our spies to the silo entrance. They find out that there's a door in the way of getting to where we're actually trying to go. And in order to get through that door, we actually have to go find a power substation, which is just past the ravine. It's this whole thing. But anyway, now we have our spies in that ravine trying to tell us that the power substation is behind it, which is... I'm going to tell you this now. it is really easy to see this power substation from the ravine. So the fact that they are giving me this much of a runaround is a bit disappointing, honestly. There we go.
There we go.
So this is actually our last spy report of the game that we're going to need. So we're going to go ahead and move these guys immediately over into the technical unit because that is going to be the next place we need them. So we're just going to do that real quick. And then we're going to head into the ravine. And the ravine, should I have still been on Tsuchinoko pace, which died when I unfortunately took that alert in the airport at least, if not the continue at Python, we're not sure still, you know, long story. But this would be a very scary mission if I were still on Tsuchinoko pace, for good reason. And I'll let Minnie take over again for this one.
Yeah, so something that we haven't mentioned yet because it really didn't affect anything yet is that we are actually doing this on the PAL version. And the PAL version has a couple differences from... Yeah, it's a slightly bad angle.
Yep.
Has a couple differences from the NTSC UNJ version. One of the differences, which is a rather strange one, I don't know why they made this the case, but it's helpful, is that when you roll off of something and it's possible to grab a ledge, like the game will allow you to grab a ledge, on PAL, the game will automatically do it for you if Snake is within range. Like that. On NTSC UNJ, you actually have to press triangle to grab that. I don't know why they changed that. They did. There's another difference between PAL and the NTSC releases that is in the third to last mission. So we'll point that out when we get there.
Yep. And as you just saw, if the spies looked up, all they had to do was look up. They could have just looked up and seen it and then been like, yo, it's right here. Come get it. But no, that is too easy and they have to be jerks. Also, I hope I have enough RPG ammo. I forgot to take off the TNT before heading into the plant. So this could be interesting.
Should be okay.
So here we're actually going to take a safety strat. Minnie, you can go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. If you roll up that ramp twice, there's a guard to my left once I start climbing on this ladder who's actually looking at a wall when we drop down. Because we rolled up twice, it sets up the cycles nicely for that. Otherwise, you can just climb into the box and go up the ramp real quick and beat his cycle to seeing you. But it is very tight, and I wanted to just take it safely. I don't really want to take too much damage in the next couple of missions here. Especially being unsure of my ammo count.
Yeah.
So we're coming up here on our objective, which is this power breaker here, which is going to control that door. And basically we need to find a time bomb because if we blow it up, the door's on a 5-minute generator, backup generator. So we need to basically blow this thing up and book it back there. And if we didn't have a time bomb, it'd be completely unfeasible in universe to do so.
You should also check the rocket launcher ammo while you have the chance.
True. Thank you. So, once we get that time bomb, we're going to be coming back, and we're actually going to be rematching against Null, because Null is just crazy for Snake. Literally, actually. No joke. Oh boy. What am I going to do? I'm going to pull this out, actually. So, Null takes 7 rockets to go down on normal difficulty. And as you saw, I have about 4. So we're going to have to improvise a bit for the last few hits. Which is not going to be comfortable, but, you know, what are you going to do? Oh, right, I don't even have my box up. That's muscle memory right there.
We're going to see an interesting quirk with the guards in this game. So there's a guard on this roof up here that's going to spot us when we're on top of this, like, structure or whatever. And, you know, a normal person, if you spotted someone up there, you would just walk closer to the ledge to confirm if, you know, that was a friendly or not.
Or she could just
well,
completely ignore me. That's fine.
She can just ignore you, I guess. That's weird. But if she does spot you, she, instead of going like closer towards the ledge to look up, she instead goes back into the building, so like goes all the way down to the bottom floor and then walks all the way around the base to stand at the ladder. And then guards in this game can't climb ladders, so then she just walks back up. If you were to wait, that is what she would do.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to be improvising here a bit. So like I said, there's a faster method for doing null, which does involve the M63, thankfully. So we're just going to... We're going to start it off normally with the RPG here. And then we're going to swap into the other strategy. And hopefully it goes well.
Null is does actually have iframes after you shoot a rocket. It's just that we time it in such a way so that when he gets out of like the stun, he will just be available to take damage. We can just hit him with the rocket.
This isn't going well.
Uh-oh.
Oh. So normally he'll block everything until he's reloading. Another method... All right. Let's see. What can I do here? Oh, that's another good note. The RPG has an incredible blast radius, and you will get caught in it every once in a while. I'm not sure how that one didn't hit me, honestly.
Yeah, that one was very close.
Improvisation is not going well.
This is unfortunate. Yeah, it's after he takes the second step that his iframes run out from being hit by a rocket.
So, null, alternatively, is a big cat and mouse thing where if you hide, you can actually get the drop on him. And that is the other way you can defeat him.
Wait for him to reload. Hopefully it does that soon.
I'm not terribly worried about my ammo because there is a there's actually an M16 in the back of the hallway where I just picked up the medkits. I am, however, worried about my health quite considerably.
Yeah, what Python is trying to use right here is the admittedly very finicky auto lock-on system. You can hold down, I believe it's L1. Yeah, to lock onto him. But it doesn't work all the time. Oof. This is unfortunate.
This is what happens when you're not paying attention.
Thankfully, though, the M63 does actually do a pretty decent amount of damage when you can get some hits in on null, so that's quite nice.
What?
So that was us actually catching him off guard. Like I said, if you can do that, you can actually get a tricky, cheap shot in. gonna try and take advantage of that a couple more times here. Hopefully it works out. Because at this point, it's not looking so hot.
Oof. That was dangerous.
It's also very difficult to catch him while he's reloading.
Yeah, the auto lock on is again very finicky in this part, and it can is often very prone to just whiffing on him completely. He's coming around the other way.
Yeah, I see it.
Or wait, is he? What is he doing? Oh, that's just what he's doing. Okay.
Okay.
All right. That was scary. Okay.
All right.
Good recovery.
So, not. Thank you. Not
Nice
my
recovery.
best work, but any way we can move forward is good enough for me, honestly. So if you think that was pretty bad, then what you're going to be watching here in a quick sec, once I figure out menus. Oh boy, this mission is going to be something. I'm going to be waiting here with my extra recruits in the medical unit. Because that'll specifically heal me a little bit more. So when you wait to pass time, you actually also heal. And so if you have people in your medical unit that have high or decent enough medical scores, they actually increase the amount you receive back in, while waiting. So that's just a bit of a safety measure. These two aren't particularly great at medical stuff, but they'll do.
I know how to put a band-aid on.
Yeah. So this is a very tough mission. If I could get unstuck. Aye! Everything's falling apart. That's fine. So we have to make this jump right here, which we didn't.
This is a very hard roll to... Yeah, the reason why you don't want that to happen is because there's a guy with a shotgun up there who is not very nice.
Oof.
Oh, this guy is rude.
Stop. Okay. Whoa! Please.
Oh yeah, there are guys with rocket launchers here for some reason.
No! Whoa! Leave me alone. I don't want any anymore. I'm sorry. Please.
That was scary. Okay, but we're out. We made it out.
Yes, you made it. You made it.
Okay, everything has been going a bit sideways, and I do apologize. I promise I practiced this. It's just that this game can do things to you that are very mean.
So this mission right here is actually where the other difference of a PAL comes into play. So there's a locked door we need to get through to progress. And in the NTSCU releases, or NTCU and NTCJ, you have to go into a side room and do like some weird like roll platform stuff to grab a key card. But in PAL, they made it so that if you grab a guard and drag him near the door, you know, he's a guard, he works here, he's allowed to go through that whenever he wants, then he will actually open the door for you. So for some reason that does not happen on the NTC releases of this game. This is a PAL exclusive technique and it saves quite a bit of time.
I may have realized that I don't actually have the box. Which is going to make this a lot more interesting than it needs to be. I'm going to give it one go without the box, but if it fails, I will go grab the box just so we can get this finished and over with.
Yeah, right there we called Ghost. He doesn't always pick up the codec receiver when you call him. But we want to call him specifically because that puts us closer to the code number to actually open that door. So that's why we want to do that right there. Yeah, I would just get out and go get it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to grab the box.
That's the best call.
Yeah. So the reason the box is incredibly important for this mission specifically is because of that shield guy. Normally I don't have to do all the menuing that I did to kind of bring it back for null. So I wasn't really thinking about it, and that's fine. Anyway, now we're going to actually do the mission for real. So, The real thing to do is actually climb up these ramps with the box, because again, that's actually faster than the rolling method. We're still going to take the same path. We're going to go through here because there are cameras above us that will call an alert on us if we get spotted. And as you can see, this is how much faster the box is than rolling. Whereas the last time I came through here, the last time I came through here, the guy was already at the end of his patrol route, which is necessary to avoid alerts otherwise. Then I could just like get past that guy just like so. I didn't mean to call you. Please, sir. Okay, cool.
Ghost didn't respond. So again, the box's power being shown once again because that guy was standing in a corner for some reason and saw a box with legs go by, and he was just kind of like, that's weird. And then just went about his day. I'm gonna do something similar. Walk into that guy with the box, grab around, 180 bump grab. Again, he will open the door for us. This mission right here basically shows off a lot of the mechanics that we've been using for most of the run.
The enemy is close by.
Those are chaff grenades. That's their one use.
They're one and only use in the run. We're gonna shoot the wall, catch up with this guy, grab him from behind, pull him towards the door. That is a legitimately it's a legitimately difficult thing to do. You have to actually have faith in your movement, which I'm not gonna lie, with the last few missions going the way they have, my confidence is a little bit shaken at the moment. But it's fine. We got the thing done. I'm gonna grab these medical kits and 2 more in this room here, and those will be handy because the last boss is. Oh boy, the last boss is something.
And from here on out, we pretty much just have two more stages left, both of them being boss fights. The first one is going to be Cunningham. He's in a hovercraft, and we're just gonna kind of stand still and shoot our machine gun at him, and he will go down eventually. We shoot the machine gun at him, and then when he comes down to our level so we can aim better, we're going to shoot him with the Mark 22 to get a non-lethal kill. Or non-lethal defeat, whatever.
Yep. And we're going to be doing something. We're going to be hugging the railing of this elevator to actually skip some animations, which will allow us to shoot the Mark 22 a bit faster than otherwise possible. But I mean, with that, we've basically explained the entire boss. So, Sporadic, if you'd like to take the mic for a few and give us some donations, that'd be lovely.
I would love to, and I would also love to say that I think you have been recovering beautifully, and chat is sending you their energy. I would love to see even more beautiful energy sent to our lovely runner here. Yes, please send the love. And speaking of love, we have all kinds of that in the form of donations. I have one here from I Am Given for $100 who asks, can donations bloom on the battlefield, Snake?
I think they can.
Oh, absolutely.
There we go. Questions answered. Done quick. I have a donation here from Panzer for $25 who says, Big Boss created Militaires Sans Frontières, and it would have never existed without Médecins Sans Frontières. So here's some money to keep it going.
You can keep going. This boss is going to take a little bit longer.
All right, well, thankfully, there's all kinds of donations here. Plywood sent in $5. It said, good luck, Pythonicus, on the run. It's great to see this underrated run in GDQ. Thanks to Python and Portable Ops for helping us cooling off during this hot summer action.
Well, let me tell you, I am sweating for several different reasons, but mostly because it's hot.
It is pretty hot right now. And I do want to say that to thank Plywood for that $5 donation, that every donation counts, no matter how large or how small. In fact, a $5 donation is enough to purchase an MUAC band. The mid-upper arm circumference band is a simple yet effective diagnostic tool for assessing malnutrition. So every single one of your donations counts, no matter the size. All of that money is being put to very good use for Doctors Without Borders.
Come on, Cunningham.
I was trying to be cheeky there and get the last shot while he was up, but that's... Whoa, Snake, what are you doing?
Oh.
Don't do that.
Okay.
All right, that's Cunningham. That is the second to last boss. I am going to do some more waiting around here to do some healing. And then, no, don't launch the mission yet. We're not prepared. All right, now we're close enough to prepared.
So Gene over here, he is the leader of this whole evil operation, and he's going to use his I guess you could say like telekinetic powers, and he's going to invade our mind, and he's going to trash talk us. But if we shoot our Mark 22 at him a bunch, he'll eventually stop trash talking us, and then we can actually fight him. Yeah, there we go.
Same thing applies, by the way. If we are close enough to Gene while he kind of shimmies around, we can actually get our Mark 22 cancel animation thing, which will allow us to get a second shot out that much faster.
So Gene being like available to be hit is kind of weird. You can hit him during the wind-up animation of his attacks, or when he whiffs that dash attack, or if his back is turned. Otherwise, he will do like an auto dodge when you fire a shot at him. And he's actually cooperating quite nicely.
Yeah, that was too early. By the way, time will be coming up on the last hit on this boss, so just a heads up on that.
So we like the dash attack because we can actually line up a Mosin Nagant shot on his head, which will do the most damage out of any attack we can do. Oh, almost. Yeah, he has a couple attacks where his wind-up animation to start it is pretty quick, but if you're fast enough, you can react and hit him during that. Here he's trash-talking us. The longer you're in the trash talk, it actually drains your psyche meter. So the trash talk really gets to us.
Rude. So rude.
He's very... Oh, time.
That is time, actually. Yeah. I wasn't sure if that was actually going to manage, but yeah, it did. All right, so... barring the last couple of missions, that was actually better than I was hoping it could go. But that goes to show... this is a Metal Gear game, and in Metal Gear speedruns, you do have to... You have to know your options, you have to know your backups, you have to be adaptable. So, at least this was a good showcase of that, I hope. Portable Ops is notoriously mean, especially for new runners. But I hope you've enjoyed the show. Big thanks to GDQ for allowing me to botch this so hard.
You know, you honestly did an amazing job. You're barely over your estimate, so...
You know what? I'm happy to hear that it wasn't too long. But yeah, thanks. Big thanks to GDQ. Big thanks to Minnie, Marlon Haight, and as well as there was one other. I believe they've changed their name recently, so I don't want to accidentally say the wrong name. And apparently I've reset my console. That's fine. But yeah, thanks to those three for routing. Shoutouts to MGSR if you'd like to learn any of these games from Portable Ops, MGS1, anything all the way to Metal Gear Solid on the N-Gage of all things. Go ahead and hit us up at MetalGearSpeedrunners.com. There you can find links to the wiki, the Discord, and all sorts of fun things for you to find there. Minnie, anything would you like to add?
Play Portable Ops, guys. Fun game.
Indeed. But with that, I think I'm ready to go cool down a bit. So thanks again, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of the marathon. Thank you all for the donations, and keep them coming.
Good evening, good morning, a lovely whatever time it is for you. You are watching SGDQ 2021, powered by Twitch. I have a donation here from Kenners for $100 that simply says bonus game, and I am very hype for that bonus game that we are trying to unlock right now. That is the Paper Mario bonus game. We are looking for $50,000. Now, y'all have done an amazing job. We are sitting at $39,035.12. So we don't have too much further to go. Please do remember when you're getting those donations in for Doctors Without Borders that you click on that incentive so we can unlock it and have even more GDQ. And we will be back real soon. We just have a short break here. Hello, friends. I hope y'all are doing wonderful this evening or morning or whatever time it is for you. I hope y'all are remembering to stay hydrated, get something to drink, and I hope y'all are hype for this interview that we have coming up with Jhobz and JeviLevee.
Thank you so much. Welcome back, SGDQ 2021 online. As mentioned already, I'm Jhobz, and I'm joined by JeviLevee, who's going to be running Sundered for us in just a little bit. Now, Sundered is a really interesting game. I'm going to dive straight into the questions. Sundered is a really interesting game, I think, from a speedrunning perspective, because it's advertised as a procedurally generated Metroidvania, which is a really weird genre. Like, it's a weird mashup. What drew you to this game, and do you think that it's like kind of unusual in speedrunning as well, or is it kind of normal for you?
I got interest. My main point of interest for this game initially was the art style. I saw it on Discord Nitro in, I believe, late 2019, and I was immediately drawn by the art style and drawn by the art style, and then I sort of like looked at the description, right, and I see it's a Metroidvania, and I really like the idea of a Metroidvania because I like platformers, right? And I especially like getting a lot of abilities to play around with. That's probably one of my favorite things in games, is playing around with a bunch of different tools. And I think that Sundered it's a bit of a unique case, but I think it's not as far off as it seems initially. Because while it's procedurally generated, it's not fully procedurally generated. There are effectively, I think the best way to describe it is that the path from point A to point B is procedurally generated, but point A and point B themselves are each set rooms that you will know. So generally, the room specifically that you get the power up in will be familiar, and the general path there is also familiar. But a lot of the map geometry between those two locations will change from run to run.
Okay, interesting. Now, you said you really like games that have a lot of abilities, and you love the art style of this one. What are some of the abilities you like in Sundered, or maybe some of the ones that are going to be really important for you in the speedrun?
I feel my favorite ability in the game, it's technically called the Strength Amplifier, but we usually just call it the Smash. And I like it because I initially discovered just on my own, like completely before speedrunning, I'd realized that it can kind of replace a different ability, your Air Dash, which I immediately found that as something cool. And that actually led me to sort of experimenting with the game, which eventually led me to the speedrunning community of it. And I like that the Smash, it is advertised as sort of a wall breaking tool, but it can be used for a lot more. And it honestly, it kind of invalidates most of the abilities in a way, which I think is both great and kind of disappointing because it kind of means, oh yeah, in a way we have less to play with. But I think that how useful it is to the run is, I think that's a great thing. I like that that an ability that I already like is also very useful in the run.
Right. You want to hope that if you lose a little variety, you're at least gaining something that is just really fun, right? Like that is kind of if you got a big hammer and that's all you got, you want it to be a really fun hammer, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's about how I feel about the Smash. Yeah.
Well, similarly, in a similar vein, we did actually ask social media for some questions here, and I did wanted to point one of them out. @_Charbunny was asking, what is the most useful perk to get as a boss drop in the run? Is that something you think about a lot?
As a boss drop, I would say there are a few perks that are close. Perks are a lot of sort of, they're effectively, if you've played Hollow Knight, they're sort of similar to charms, but a lot of them are randomized instead of being set on the map. Some of them are, but there are a lot of them drop randomly, and some of them will drop randomly from bosses. And I think probably the perk I'm most excited to see from a boss drop is honestly Sharp Edge. It's just a flat damage boost, but it's just a nice damage boost to have. Just makes a lot of boss fights a lot faster, and it does. Perks also have downsides, and the downside of Sharp Edge is that you lose some health. But as long as we play well in a speedrun, that shouldn't really be too big of an issue.
Yeah, speedrun. I mean, that's like the bread and butter, right? Of more damage, less health. That's like you see that in any game, and speedrunners are tossing that on immediately.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I did also want to ask, KOH Pellord said, what is the biggest advantage and disadvantage of running this category? And I wanted to use that as a tie-in to ask you a little bit about the category because it's named Resist %. Tell us a bit about that and the advantage and disadvantages.
All right. So Sundered has a bit of a dichotomy of game routes. It almost reminds me of the advertising of Undertale, where it told you about will you fight or will you give them mercy. It's not exactly the same choice, but it's asking you to either embrace or resist the temptation of sort of an eldritch deity that's kind of guiding you through the world. And here we're going to be resisting because resisting it's a far more consistent route than the other route, than embrace. There is also just an any %, which is faster than either, but they're basically a full resist and a full embrace is what those two categories are. And then we have just our standard any %, which doesn't fully delve into either. But our resist category is nice because we get a lot more combat stats with resist. Embrace gives us more abilities to play around with, but unfortunately we're a lot weaker which can get hard towards the end of a run, which can make it a lot more inconsistent. But it is quite a lot of fun to play around with the abilities, which is, of course, why when I first played through the game, I, of course, embraced, because I knew that I would just have a lot of cool abilities to play around with, and that's really nice to see. Whereas Resist, you get a few bonuses, but they're not abilities in the same way. For example, there is a double jump in the game, right? A kind of standard thing to have in a Metroidvania, right? And when you corrupt the double jump, what you get is you still have your double jump, but you get a glide on top of it. And so that's like a nice little twist to have. That does add to your move set. Whereas the Resist, like the little bonuses you get for Resist are things like when you do just like your kind of standard attack combo, like the last hit will do a bit more damage, which is, it's nice to have for a run, but it's not as satisfying for a for like just having a variety of abilities.
Right. Not as big of a twist, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have a ton of time, but I want to ask you one last question, Jevy, real quick.
All right.
If somebody has never seen Sundered before, and I backed Sundered on Kickstarter like way back when, and I totally agree.
Right.
The art style, the animations, and everything, and even that dichotomy of choice, I think is really cool. But for somebody who hasn't seen it before, why should they tune into the speedrun? What's like a moment or an aspect about it that you think is just really fun to watch?
I would personally say that the moment I would look out most for is the moon jump glitch. It changes the run completely and adds it takes off a ton of time, and it's just quite satisfying to just kind of see yourself zipping up into the air.
I like anything named moon jump. Like that's already a certain minimum barrier or minimum amount of hype level just going into hearing that name. Well,
right, yeah.
Jevy, thank you so much for speaking with me, and I'm excited to watch your run. Good luck.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and let SporadicErratic take it back away. So thank you all, and continue watching Summer Games Done Quick 2021 online.
Thank you so much, Jhobz. I learned so much in such a short amount of time. I would love to just take a moment to remind y'all of what we are doing here today and all this week. We are raising funds. Oh. We are here raising funds for Doctors Without Borders. Doctors Without Borders, or MSF, is an international medical humanitarian aid organization that works in over 70 countries around the world, providing life-saving medical humanitarian care and speaking out about what they see in those areas. Their work aids people based solely on need, irrespective of race, religion, gender, or political affiliation. MSF relies mainly on the generosity of individual donors, with over 90% of MSF's income coming from private donors giving small amounts. So do remember that every single donation here this week counts. Y'all are doing an amazing job, and Doctors Without Borders is just such a wonderful, wonderful organization. I'm so honored to be here and able to help raise funds with them, with you. All right, I have gotten word that our next runner, Matt is ready to show us Max Payne 2, Fall of Max Payne. Here we go.
Hello, everyone.